Industrial products. Industrial products are those products which are used as inputs in producing other products. The examples of such products are raw materials, engines, lubricants, machines, tools, etc. In other words, industrial products are meant for non personal and business use for producing other products. The market for industrial products consists of manufacturers, transport agencies, banks, and insurance companies, mining companies, and public utilities. Industrial products are those products which are used as inputs in producing other products. The examples of such products are raw materials, engines, lubricants, machines, tools, etc. In other words, industrial products are meant for non personal and business use for producing other products. The market for industrial products consists of manufacturers, transport agencies, banks, and insurance companies, mining companies, and public utilities. Classification. The industrial goods are classified into following major categories. 1. Material and parts. These include goods that enter the manufacturer's products completely. Such goods are of two types: A. Raw material, including farm products like cotton, sugarcane, oilseeds, and natural products such as minerals, say crude petroleum, iron ore, fish and lumber, and B. Manufactured materials and parts. These are again of two types: component materials like glass, iron, plastic, and component parts such as tire, electric bulbs, steering, and battery. 2. Capital items. These are such goods that are used in the production of finished goods. These include: A. Installation like elevator, mainframe computers, and B. Equipments like hand tools, personal computers, fax machines, etc. 3. Suppliers and business services. These are short lasting goods and services that facilitate developing or managing the finished products. These include: A. Maintenance and repair items like paint, nails, etc., and B. Operating supplies like lubricant, computer stationery, writing paper, etc. Branding. One of the most important decisions that marketers has to take in the area of product is in respect of branding. He has to decide whether the firm's products will be marketed under a brand name or a generic name. Generic name refers to the name of the whole class of product. For example, a book, a wristwatch, tire, camera, toilet soap, etc. We know that camera is a lens surrounded by plastic or steel from all sides and having certain other features such as a flash gun and so on. Similarly, book is a bunch of papers which are in a bound form on which some useful information about a subject is printed. Thus, Thus, all products having these characteristics would be called by the generic name such as camera or a book. If products were sold by generic names, it would be very difficult for the marketers to distinguish their products from that of their competitors. Thus, most marketers give a name to their product, which helps in identifying and distinguishing their products from the competitors' products. This process of giving a name or a sign or a symbol, etc., to a product is called branding. The various terms relating to branding are as follows. 1. Brand. A brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, design, or some combination of them used to identify the products, goods, or services of one seller or a group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of the competitors. For example, some of the common brands are Bata, Lifebuoy, Dunlop, and Parker. Brand is a comprehensive term which has two components: brand name and brand mark. 2. Brand name. That part of the brand which can be spoken in is called a brand name. In other words, brand name is the verbal component of a brand. 3. Brand mark. That part of the brand which can be recognized but which is not utterable is called brand mark. It appears in the form of a symbol, design, distinct color scheme, or lettering. 4. Trademark. A brand or part of a brand that is given legal protection is called a trademark. The protection is given against its use by other firms. Thus, the firm which got its brand registered gets the exclusive right for its use. In that case, no other firm can use such name or mark in the country. Through branding, though branding adds to the cost, example, to the cost of packing, labeling, legal protection, and promotion, it provides several advantages to the seller as well as the consumers. Characteristics of good brand names. Choosing the right brand name is not an easy decision. What makes this decision important is the fact that once a brand name is chosen and the product is launched in the market, changing the brand name is very difficult. So, getting it right the first time is very essential. Following are some of the considerations which should be kept in mind while choosing a brand name. 1. The brand name should be short, easy to pronounce, spell, recognize, and remember. Example: Pons, VIP, Rin, Vim, etc. 2. A brand should suggest the product's benefit and qualities. It should be appropriate to the product's function. 3. A brand name should be distinctive. 4. The brand name should be adaptable to packing and or labeling requirements, to different advertising media, and to different languages. 5. The brand name should be sufficiently versatile to accommodate new products which are added to the product line. 6. It should be capable of being registered and protected legally. 7. Chosen name should have staying power, that is, it should not get out of date. Packaging. One of the most important developments affecting the business world in recent years has been in the area of packaging. Many products which we thought could never lend themselves to packing because of their nature have been successfully packed. Example: pulses, ghee, milk, salt, cold drinks, etc. Packaging refers to the act of designing and producing the container or wrapper of a product. Packaging plays a very important role in the marketing success or failure of many products, particularly the consumer non durable products. In fact, if one makes an analysis of the reasons for the success of some of these successful products in the recent past, it can be noted that packaging has played its due role. For example, it was one it was one of the important factors in the success of products like Maggie noodles, Uncle Chips, or Cracks wafers. Level of packaging. There can be different levels of packaging. These are as below. 1. Primary package. It refers to the product's immediate container. In some cases, the primary package is kept till these consumer is ready to use the product. Example: plastic packets for socks, whereas in other cases it is kept throughout the entire life of the product, that is, a toothpaste tube, a matchbox, etc. To secondary packaging. It refers to the additional layer of protection that are kept till the product is ready for use. Example: a tube of shaving cream usually comes in a cardboard box When consumers start using the shaving cream, they will dispose of the box and retain the primary tube. 3. Transportation packaging. It refers to further packing components necessary for storage, identification, or transportation. For example, a toothpaste manufacturer may send the goods to retailers in corrugated boxes containing 10, 20, or 100 units. Importance of packaging. Packaging has acquired great significance in the marketing of goods and services because of the following reasons. 1. Rising standards of health and sanitation. Because of the increasing standards of living in the country, more and more people have started purchasing packed goods as the chances of adulteration in some goods are minimized. 2. Self service outlets. The self service retail outlets are becoming very popular, particularly in major cities and towns. Because of this, some of the traditional role assigned to personal selling in respect of promotion has gone to packaging. 3. Innovational opportunity. Some of the recent development in the area of packaging have completely changed the marketing scene in the country. For example, milk can now be stored for 4 to 5 days without refrigeration in the recent development packaging material. Similarly, in the areas of pharmaceuticals, soft drinks, etc., lot of new innovations have come in respect of packaging. As a result, the scope of the marketing of such products has increased. 4. Product differentiation. Packaging is one of the very important means of creating product differentiation. The color, size, material, etc. of the package makes real differences in the perception of customers about the quality of the product. For example, by looking at the package of a product, say paint or hair oil, one can make some guess about the quality of the product contained in it. Functions of packaging. As stated above, packaging performs a number of functions in the marketing of goods. Some of the important functions are as follows. 1. Product identification. Packaging greatly helps in identification of the products. For example, Colgate in red color or Pond's cream jar can be easily identified by its package. 2. Product protection. Packaging protects the content of a product from spoilage, breakage, leakage, pilferage, damage, climate effect, etc. This kind of protection is required during storing, distribution, and transportation of the product. 3. Facilitating use of product. The size and shape of the package should be such that it should be convenient to open, handle, and use for the consumer. Cosmetic medicine and tubes of toothpaste are good examples of this. 4. Product promotion. Packaging is also used for promotion purposes. A startling color scheme, photograph, or typeface may be used to attract attention of the people at the point of purchase. Sometimes it may work even better than advertising. In self-service stores, this role of packaging becomes all the more important. Labeling. A simple looking but important task in the marketing of goods relates to designing the label to be put on the package. The label may vary from a simple tag attached to the product, such as in the case of a local unbranded product like the sugar, wheat, pulse, etc., indicating some information about the quality or price, to complex graphics that are part of the package, like the ones in branded products. Labels are useful in providing detailed information about the products, its content, methods of use, etc. The various functions performed by a label are as follows. 1. Describe the product and specify its content. Let us look at some of the labels of the products used by us in our day to day life. The label on the package of a local tea company describes the company as Mohini Tea Company, an ISO 9001 200C certified company. A popular brand of prickly heat powder describes how the product provides relief from the prickly heat and controls relief from prickly heat and controls bacterial growth and infection, giving caution forbidding its application on cuts and wounds. Package of fast food products like ready to eat dosa, idli, or noodles describe the procedure of cooking these products. The package of a toothpaste brand lists the 10 teeth and gum problems which the product claims to fight with its complete Germy check formula. The package of a brand of coconut oil describes the product as pure coconut oil with henna, amla, lemon, and specifies how these are good for hair. Thus, one of the most important functions of labels is to describe the product, its usage, caution in use, etc., and specify its contents. 2. Identification of the product of or brand. The other important function performed by the labels is to help in identifying the product or brand. For example, the brand name of any products, hay, biscuit, or potato chips imprinted on its package helps us to identify from number of packages which one is our favorite brand. Other common identification information provided by the label includes name and address of the manufacturer, net weight when packed, manufacturing date, maximum retail price, and batch number. 3. Grading products. Another important function performed by the label is to help grading the products into different categories. Sometimes marketers assign different grades to indicate different features or quality of the product. For example, a popular brand of hair conditioners come in different categories for different hair, say for normal hair and for other categories. Different types of tea is sold by some brands under yellow, red, and green label categories. 4. Help in promotion of products. An important function of label is to aid in promotion of the products. A carefully designed label can attract attention and give reason to purchase. We see many product labels providing promotional messages. For example, the pack of a popular Amla hair oil states "Balo mein dum, life mein fun." The label on the package of a brand of detergent powder says "Keep cloth look good and your machine in top condition." Labels play important role in sales promotional schemes launched by companies. For example, the label of the on the package of a shaving cream mentions 40% extra free, or package of a toothpaste mentioning free toothbrush inside, or save for rupees 15. 5. Providing information required by the law. Another important function of labeling is to provide information required by law. For example, packaged food articles must have list of ingredients, declaration regarding vegetarian or non-vegetarian food additives, and date of manufacturing or packing on the label. Such information is required on processed foods, drugs, and tobacco products. In case of hazardous or poisonous material, appropriate safety warning needs to be put on the label. Thus, labels perform number of important functions relating to the communicating with the potential buyers and promoting the sale of the product. Pricing. When a product is bought, some money is paid for it. This money represents the sum of the value that consumers exchange for the benefit of having or using the product and is referred to as the price of the product. Similarly, money paid for the services such as fare for the transport services, premium for an insurance policy, and fee for to a doctor for his medical advice represents the price of these services. Price may therefore be price may therefore be defined as the amount of money paid by a buyer or received by a seller in consideration of the purchase of a product or a service. Pricing occupies an important place in the marketing of goods and services by a firm. No product can be launched without a price tag or at least some guidelines for pricing. Pricing is often used as a regulator of the demand of a product. Generally, if the price of a product is increased, its demand comes down and vice versa. Pricing is considered to be an effective competitive weapon. In the conditions of perfect competition, most of the firms compete with each other on the basis of this factor. It is also the single most important factor affecting the revenue and profit of a firm. Thus, most marketing firms give high importance to the fixation of price for their products and services. Factors affecting price determination. There are a number of factors which affect the fixation of the price of the product. Some of the important factors in this regard are discussed as below. 1. Product cost. One of the most One, product cost. One of the most important factor affecting the price of a product or service is its cost. This includes the cost of producing, distributing, and selling the product. The cost sets the minimum level or the floor price at which the product may be sold. Generally, all marketing firms strive to cover all their costs, at least in the long run. In addition, they aim at earning a margin of profit over and above the cost. In certain circumstances, for example, at the time of introducing a new product or while entering in a new market, the products may be sold at a price which does not cover all the cost. But in the long run, a firm cannot survive unless at least all its costs are covered. They are broadly three types of cost, with fixed cost, variable cost, and semi-variable cost. Fixed costs are those costs which do not vary with the level of activity of a firm, say with the volume of production or sale. For example, rent of a building or salary of a sales manager remains the same whether 1,000 units or 10 units are produced in a week. Those costs which vary in direct proportion with the level of activity are called the variable cost. For example, the cost of raw material, labor, and power are directly related with the quantity of goods produced. Let us say if the cost of wood for manufacturing one chair comes to rupees 100, the cost of wood for 10 chairs would be rupees 1000. Obviously, there will be no cost of wood if no chair is produced. Semi variable costs are those costs which vary with the level of activity but not in direct proportion with it. For example, compensation of a salesperson may include a fixed salary of say rupees 10,000 plus a commission of 5% on sales. With an increase in the volume of sales, the total compensation will increase but not in direct proportion with the change in the volume of sales. Total costs are the sum total of the fixed, variable, and semi variable costs for the specific level of activity, say volume of sales or quantity produced. 2. The utility and demand. While the product cost set the lower limits of the price, the utility provided by the product, and the intensity of demand of the buyer sets the upper limit of price which a buyer would be prepared to pay. In fact, the price must reflect the interest of both the parties to the transaction, the buyer and the seller. The buyer may be ready to pay up to the point where the utility from the product is at least equal to the sacrifice made in terms of the price paid. The seller would, however, try to at least cover the cost. According to the law of demand, consumers usually purchase more units at lower price than at higher price. 3. Extent of competition in the market. Between the lower limit and the upper limit, there would be a price settled down. This is affected by the nature and the degree of competition. The price will tend to reach the upper limit in case there is lesser degree of competition, while under condition of free competition the price will tend to be set at lower levels. Competitors prices and their anticipated reactions must be considered before fixing the price of a product. Not only the price but the quality and the features of the competitive products must be examined carefully before fixing the price. 4. Government and legal regulations. In order to protect the interest of public against the unfair practices in the field of price fixing, government can intervene and regulate the price of commodities. Government can declare a product as essential product and regulates its price. For example, the cost of a drug manufactured by a company having monopoly in the production of the same comes to rupees 20 per strip of 10, and the buyer is prepared to pay any amount for it, say rupees 200. In the absence of any competition, the seller may be tempted to exert the maximum amount of rupees 200 for the drug and intervene to regulate the price. Usually, in such a case, the government does not allow the firm to charge such a high price and intervene to regulate the price of the drug. This can be done by the government by declaring the drug as essential commodity and regulating its price. 5. Pricing objectives. Pricing objectives are another important factor affecting the fixation of the price of the product or the service. Generally, the objective is maximum stated to maximize the profits, but there is a difference in maximizing profits in the short run and in the long run. If the firm decides to maximize profits in the short run, it would tend to charge maximum price for its products. But if it is to maximize its total profit in the long run, it would opt for a lower per unit price so that it can capture larger share of the market and earn greater profits through increased sales. Apart from profit maximization, the pricing objective of a firm may include a obtaining market share leadership. If a firm's objective is to obtain larger share of the market, it will keep the price of its products at lower level so that greater number of people are attracted to purchase the products. 2. B. Surviving in a competitive market. If a firm is facing difficulties in surviving in the market because of intense competition or introduction of a more efficient substitute by the competitor, it may resort to discounting its products or running a promotion campaign to liquidate its stock. And C. Attaining attaining product quality leadership. In this case, normally higher prices are charged to cover high quality and high cost of research and development. Thus, the prices of a firm's products and service is affected by the pricing objective of the firm. 6. Marketing method use. Price fixation process is also affected by other elements of the marketing, such as distribution system, quality of salesman employed, quality and amount of advertising, sales promotion efforts, the type of packaging, product differentiation, credit facility, and customer services provided. For example, if a company provides free home delivery, it has some of flexibility in in fixing prices. Similarly, uniqueness of any of the elements mentioned above gives the company a competitive freedom in fixing prices of its products. Physical distribution. The fourth important element of marketing mix is the physical distribution of the products and services. Through this component of marketing mix, the goods and services are made available at the right place at the right time to the right people without change. Once goods are manufactured, packed, branded, priced, and promoted, these must be made available to customers at the right place in right quantity and at right time. For example, a person convinced about the quality etc. of a product, say a detergent bar, wants to purchase the same. He or she goes to a retail outlet and asks for the product. If that product is not available in the shop, he or she may purchase some of the alternative brands available. This way, a sure sale is lost because goods were not available at the place where the customer wants to purchase. Thus, it is an important responsibility of the marketers to make the product physically available at the place where the customer would like them to buy. The physical handling and movement of goods from place of production to the place of distribution is referred to as physical distribution, which is very important element of marketing mix. Channels of distribution used for a consumer product: producers, wholesalers, retailers, consumer. Physical distribution covers all the activities required to physically